Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for today's session. I'm going to jump straight into today's presentation to make sure that we stay on track time-wise and so that you guys have plenty of opportunity at the end to ask any questions that you feel may come up as we go through the presentation. So rather than stop starting, you're going to have plenty of time at the end. So make sure that you have your notepads, you have your pens so you can write them down, and you will have some time at the end to then have a little bit of a chat with me and ask any of those burning questions that may have popped up as we go through today's presentation. So hopefully you guys are here because you want to learn how to use PR and social media to raise the visibility of your business or brand. Now, maybe you've jumped onto the wrong session, but anyway, I hope that you will now stick around because who doesn't want to raise the visibility of their business and brand, right? For those of you that have never met me before, my name is Estelle Keeber. I am one of the UK's leading marketing and PR experts. I'm also an Amazon best-selling author, and you may have seen me on a stage somewhere across the UK in the space of the last 10 years. Now, in the space of the last 7 years, since I took over my own social media and marketing, I've also been featured in publications such as Forbes, Psychologist, and I'm also a bit of a regular on BBC now, to the point where people are actually asking me when I'm going to have my own segment, which, fingers crossed, may be in some future plans. But the reason that I'm telling you about the different places that I've been featured and some of my, really hard-earned achievements is because I don't want to impress you, but impress upon you the power of social media and marketing and PR, because this is something that is pretty much free. When we look at social media, it costs you nothing to be on a social media platform. And the tips that I'm going to share with you today that are going to be around PR, using social media, these are all things that are super actionable and that you can go off and do yourself. So again, you have the power to do all of these things to grow your business and your visibility. And you can also have exactly the same opportunities of getting featured in the places that I mentioned, simply by putting in a little bit of effort and hard work yourself. So what are we going to be talking about in today's session? We're going to be talking about how to understand how PR really works for businesses. So what is PR? Why should you be doing it? Why socials matter for visibility and media. Now, these two go hand in hand, and sometimes people don't understand how well they merge together as part of your bigger visibility strategy. We're going to look at quick changes that you can make to look more credible online. We're going to create a story that's going to help you build your brand visibility in minutes. And we're going to talk about how you can use the skills that I'm going to give you to literally go and pitch to the press and media, literally by the end of today's session. Now, as you will see, I am somebody who likes to do things that are implementable very quickly because I lose attention very quick. So I need things, and I like to teach in a way that means that people can take what I'm teaching them and go and implement it and see the results very quickly. We all like the quick wins and those little quick dopamine kicks, right? So we're going to be talking really simple, practical tips. I'm going to be sharing really simple language. So for anybody that has jumped onto any of my trainings, or if you check out any of my other trainings, you will know that there is no jargon, there is no terminology. I try and keep it as simple as possible to get the results that you need. I'm going to show you how you can take action. By the end of today's session, we're going to have a few things on your homework list that you can literally run off and do in the space of, the next 10 minutes before you make a cup of tea or go and speak to your next client. And of course, like I mentioned, we're going to have some time at the end for you guys to ask any questions that may pop up as we go through today's session. So the first thing that I'm going to talk to you about is your Instagram bio. Now, your Instagram bio is one of the first things that people will go to when they go to your Instagram account. So it looks a little bit like what you're seeing on screen right now. Now, your bio should tell people who you are. However, it is not meant to be your CV. It needs to be short. It needs to be snappy, like anything else right now with marketing, whether this is social media, whether it's radio. Everybody is vying for your attention, and people will literally scroll within a second. So you need to tell people exactly what it is that you do with your social media bio, okay? So, for example, a nice, clear bio for me would say, I help small businesses get seen using PR and social media. It's really simple. Now, if you look at mine, it's slightly different. It's zhuzhed up a little bit. We have some emojis, but it tells you there who I am, what I do, and it also tells you that I help people with social media marketing and PR support for small businesses. So everything that you need to know about me is pretty much there. If you're looking for somebody that's going to help you with social media, help you with boosting your visibility, you can see that straight from the get-go very quickly in my bio. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that I see is that people have a whole paragraph of writing in their bio. Now, bearing in mind, people will literally scroll from your account. You have like 0.2 seconds to get somebody's attention. It's so much easier to read what's in your bio when it's short and to the point. So you can see here, I've bullet pointed mine with some emojis. You don't have to go that far. You can literally just have, your bio formatted correctly. Now, you do only have limited characters, so you do have to be mindful of what it is that you want to tell people. So, think about who is your ideal client? Who do you help? How can you tell people how you solve their problems? This is what you should be using your bio for. Now, changing your bio literally will take 5 minutes. You literally click on the edit bio button and you can go in there. Now, one of my top tips is to copy and paste your bio into a notes app. So if you're struggling with, maybe shortening it to the amount of characters that you need, AI is one of my favorite tools. And you will definitely see me talk about this, whether you check me out on trainings, see me on social media. AI is a huge tool that is helping me and so many of my clients. And this is a great way that you can use your AI. If you have a chat bar, regardless of whichever you use, you could pop in there, write me a Instagram bio that talks to my ideal clients who are XYZ. And the chat will then give you a selection of bios that you can pick. And the more that you use chat, you do need to tweak it. Don't be one of those people that literally take whatever it gives and puts it out, because the whole point is it needs to be personal to you. But if you are struggling to kind of break it down and put it into the amount of characters that you need, AI is a great way to do that. And it's also a great way for you to kind of give you some bullet points for your bio as well. Not only should you be keeping it short and sweet, you can also put a link in your bio. Now, you can't put links in your main feed. So it's really important that when people go to your bio, they can go somewhere else. And this is a great way for you to drive traffic. So this could be to a website, it could be to a sales page, it could be absolutely anywhere that you decide you want to send people. So, for example, in mine where it says social media marketing and PR support for small biz, there's then a link underneath. If you click that link, it will then give you a whole host of different free resources and trainings that you can get from me to help you build your business. So it takes people from Instagram over to the various places that people can then check out my resources. So make sure that along with a nice, tidy, short and sweet bio, you are also making the most of that link that you can have in your bio as well. Now, my next tip when it comes to boosting your visibility and PR using social media is using pinned posts. Now, this is probably one of the most underrated things that people don't know about. So when I say pinned posts, it literally means pinning something to the top. So as you would pin a comment, this means that you can pin 3 posts to the top of your Instagram feed. Now, why is this important? Because it means that you can put something there that you want to draw people's attention to. When you share a post to Instagram, every time you share a post, the last post drops further and further down, so your newer posts are at the top. Now, if you want something to stay at the top, for example, your products or a testimonial, this is where you can pin it. And we want the things that you want your audience to see. So, for example, you can see here on my pinned post, the first picture that you can see, I'm sure that's one about my 8-week PR course. So this is a do-it-yourself PR course, and it runs every 2 months. So that's why that is pinned to the top of my post, so that anybody that goes to my feed can see this is one of the ways that you can work with me. It's there because that's something that I'm actively promoting at the moment. So rather than continuously having to put posts out, I can have one post, pin it to the top of my feed, and people can see that every time they go to my feed. I think the second one that you can see pinned in the middle is a video of when I was featured on a segment for BBC Breakfast News, talking about making money online and influencer marketing. The reason that that is there is because it helps to build my credibility. It shows people I know what I'm talking about because the BBC have featured me on their breakfast news. So we've got one of the pinned posts that are showing this is my products and this is how you can work with me. And then the second one in the middle is building my credibility and showing people, this is what I do and this is what you can expect from me. And I think the third one is a BBC interview, again, talking about social media, making money online. But this is a little bit more relatable because you can see me in real time, in the flesh, not on the TV, talking live on a BBC show about social media marketing. So again, it's building my credibility. It's showing people, look, I've been featured on BBC. They invite me in to talk as one of their experts because I know what I'm talking about. So hopefully, by seeing those two pinned posts and then seeing the post for my 8-week do-it-yourself PR course, people are going to be more inclined to book because all of the things are there to build that trust, to build that credibility, whilst also showing them this is my most recent offering. So think about what is important to you. What do you want your audience to see when they go to your account? And this is where you want to pin your posts. All those important things, you pin them at the top. Now, you can only have 3 pinned posts at a time. So it's important to think about what is most important and then go and change them. They don't have to stay there. You can unpin them and you can pin something else, and there's no time on that. So you can decide, now to pin something, and by the end of the presentation, you might have changed your mind. You can pin something else. So you can switch and change as much as you like. So this is a great way to not only showcase what you have to offer, but you can also, build trust, build visibility, or send people somewhere else. If you have somewhere else you want to take them to, like we talked about with your link in bio, driving traffic, these are the ways that you can, draw people's attention, tell them what you need to, and then encourage them to go and do something else. Now, my final tip when it comes to socials, and this is most definitely my favorite. So for anybody that has seen any training that I do, you will know that I bang on about Instagram stories. Now, this is something that hasn't changed in 10 years. Stories have been around right since the beginning, and they are something that I have done hundreds and hundreds of trainings on. And the reason is because they are still the easiest, simplest way for you to show up when it comes to Instagram. They literally take minutes. They are super easy to do, and they help not only to build your trust, but also to kind of show you on a real level. Your main feed is where people get all the best bits, the things that are going to stay on your feed. They're the kind of like more polished posts, shall we say. Whereas your Instagram stories, they only stay there for 24 hours. So they can be much more relaxed. They allow you to show lots of behind the scenes, but also they allow you to show, the real version of you. And that's what people want to see when they are checking out a business or brand. There's a reason that people go to smaller businesses rather than, huge brands like Boots and Tesco's, and, because there are real people that they are dealing with. And this is how they see that you are a real person, because, it's not just the business. It's not just what they're seeing on the main feed. They're also getting like a little sneaky peek into what goes on behind the scenes as well. Now, what are Instagram stories? They are little snippets that stay on your feed for just 24 hours. So they don't need to be polished. They don't need to be perfect. And Instagram give you lots and lots of ways to help you boost your engagement. So the reason that I talk so much about stories is because, like I mentioned, they are super quick and easy to create as well. So for those of you that are thinking, I just don't have time for Instagram, definitely don't have time for, creating videos. This is one thing that you will definitely be able to have time for. And I'm going to talk you through it. This is literally how quick we are going to go through an Instagram story. We're actually going to do it in real time. I'm going to create one with you now. So I want you to take your phones out and you are going to do this in real time with me, okay? So here we go. I have my phone. So I want you to open up your Instagram app. And once you go to your Instagram app, you're going to see in the top left-hand corner, there is a plus icon. Now, when you hit that plus icon, you're then going to see at the bottom, you have lots of different options. So you will have post, story, reel, and live. For this example, we're going to create a story, okay? So you should have a camera screen that pops up when you tap on story. This is where I want you to take either a photograph or a selfie or a video of where you are right now, whether you are watching this on your laptop, whether you are sitting on your sofa, wherever it may be. I want you to take a picture, and I'm going to do exactly the same so that you guys can see exactly how this is going to look when you go to my Instagram stories. Now, once you've taken your picture or you've got your little bit of video footage, that is the first part of your story. The next thing and the most important thing when it comes to stories is your stickers. So the square smiley face that you're going to see in the icons down on the right-hand side, if you hit that square smiley face, this is your stickers. This is what you should see. Now, it will look different for everybody, and Instagram are updating the features within stickers all the time. They're continuously adding new things. So it may not look exactly like this, but it will look similar, okay? Now, one of the first things that I want you to do is use your mention sticker. Now, you're going to see this. It's at the top on the screen that you can see here. It says at mention. Now, usually the only people that really see your Instagram stories are the people that follow you already. And this is why it's a great way for you to build relationships. You're not trying to reach the masses. You're not trying to reach new followers with a reel. You're building relationships and building trust with those people that you already know. However, when you use the mention sticker, it allows the person that you are mentioning to share it with their audience, okay? So in this example, I want you to use the mention sticker and I want you to mention me at Estelle Keeber Official, which is my Instagram account. Once you've added that sticker in, go back to the square smiley face, hit the mention sticker again, and I want you to also mention hashtag business events. Now, what this means is not only are the people that view your stories going to see your story, they are also going to be shared with our audience as well. So when I get a notification for a mention, I don't usually do this only when I'm doing events because I want to help you guys boost your visibility and help you connect with other people, because I can guarantee you the people that are watching this training right now are going to be people that either, you could collaborate with, they're going to be your ideal clients, they're going to be potentially people you want to work with. So use this opportunity, share something into your stories, tell people who you are, what you do, why you're watching today's training, because you want to boost your visibility. You want to connect with more people. So once you've told people that, you share it to your story. I'm going to share it to my story. And that means not only are your audience going to see it, but all of my audience are going to see it as well. So all of you guys that are watching, go and check out my Instagram stories. And hopefully, when you guys are sharing your stories, you're all going to see other people's stories, which means you're boosting your visibility. And then, go and connect with people. Have a look at my stories. See, who do you think you could connect with? Who could you collaborate with? Who could be potentially someone you want to work with or your ideal client? And that is the power of using the @ mention sticker. It's the easiest, quickest way for you to not only boost your visibility once, but you can use this up to 10 times. You can mention 10 different accounts using the mentions sticker. So once you've added in the mentions, so we're mentioning at Estelle Keeber Official, which is me, and you're also going to mention hashtag business events as well. Now, once you've added in the mentions, you will see also at the top, there is a capital and lowercase a. Does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a text tool. So this is where you can add in a little bit of context to your story, let people know that you are watching today's training, celebrating the hashtag 10-year anniversary event. Let people know who you are. Let people know a little bit about your business. You can see here in the example that I've shared, I've tagged myself, I've tagged, getting excited, I can't get my words out. I've tagged hashtag business events, and then I've shared celebrating 10 years of hashtag events with a special PR training. So it's telling people a little bit about what I am doing at today's event. So there you can see, it is that easy. You take a picture, you add in a little bit of context with text, and then you can use other stickers. Now, we've talked about the mention sticker just purely because it's a nice, simple one. But there's tons of ways that you can boost your engagement. They have sliding emoji stickers. They have poll stickers. You can even add links in stories. So again, if you wanted to take people somewhere else, using a link in your story is the perfect way to do that. Now, going on to journalists and the PR side of social media. Sometimes people are like, well, why would journalists check out your social media? So I'm going to tell you a little story. You may or may not have seen this, but not so long ago, a journalist or an outlet was found guilty of sharing information from a source that actually didn't even exist. And what had happened was somebody had created a fake expert to feature in an article, basically just to fill a space. And it turns out the expert did not even exist. So now a lot of journalists are fact checking. They will go and look at your social media to make sure you are who you say you are. But not only that, they scroll social media like every other person does. So if they see something that is of interest to them, they will pick it up from social media. And this is happening all the time now. So especially if you've got something that's getting a lot of engagement, if you've shared something to social media that's causing a bit of traction, there is a very, very good chance that the press and media are going to pick up on that. But they both work hand in hand, because if you have good socials, a journalist is, maybe going to give you a glance, give your email a glance, then check out your socials. If your socials are good and can verify you are who you say you are, you know exactly what it is that you're talking about, you've got a much higher chance of them wanting to work with you. Whereas if somebody goes to a social media account that, nobody has used for the past year, it's very difficult for them to kind of then see, are you relevant? Are you engaging with people? Are you even real? Because, there have been circumstances where people have made up experts. So remember, the things that you're sharing to your socials, you are using your voice, you are using your platform, and it is not just, your ideal clients that you're talking to. The press and media are also checking your socials too. And PR doesn't start with news, it starts with new, okay? So experiences, they want new experiences, they want new observations and new local relevance, okay? So what do I mean by this? Start local. Local is the easiest way to get featured in the press and media. And this is because they want to support local businesses. They have tons of space that they need filling that is all to do with things that are amazing and happening in their local area. So whether this is your local newspapers, you have local BBC radio stations, or you may have some online platforms and communities that offer, live trainings and things like that. It's so much easier to, get your foot in the door with a local publication or radio station. And then what tends to happen is once that has been shared out, especially if you market yourself correctly after that, larger publications such as nationals and regionals will then pick up based on the fact that you've been, featured by your local media. So, a really simple, practical plan. Don't overthink this. Local news want to hear about local businesses. So think about the amazing things you've done in your business. Have you taken on a new team member? Have you hit a milestone? Have you got something amazing happening? Have you supported a charity? There are so many different ways that you can shout about your business. It's about thinking outside the box. And sometimes it can be difficult to do that. And, blow your own trumpet, I guess. And that's where I come in, because I'm constantly, every time I speak to business owners, the more that I talk to people, I'm like, ping, great angle for media there. And it does get easier the more that you do it. But don't overthink it. Think about one thing that you could celebrate in your business that you could share with local media. Pick one local publication. So whether this is radio, whether this is a magazine or a newspaper, write a short draft email. So this is a pitch email. Now, be short and to the point. Again, they don't want to read a whole paragraph of writing. Tell them who you are, what you've got that's exciting that's going on, and how they can get in touch with you. Now, it says here that you should send it, but I don't want you to send it. I want you to link your socials, and then I want you to send it. A little bit of an error in the presentation here. However, link to your socials. We've been talking about the power of your socials, how that builds trust and credibility, especially when it comes to journalists. So make sure that you do put your link in that pitch email. Send it, give it a few days, and then reach out. The fortune is in the follow-up. Journalists always have an inbox that's full, and I mean hundreds of emails, okay? So they don't mind you just dropping them an email and following up. And I can guarantee you that even if they don't use you there and then, you are now in mind for the next time that they need to fill a space, whether that is on their radio station or within their magazine or newspaper. So just to reiterate, always link your socials. And I think now we're starting to understand, if I say it enough, why social media and PR and marketing and journalists all work as part of, little tiny jigsaw pieces that build that bigger puzzle to building your visibility as a brand and business. Now, I did say everything that I teach is very actionable, and I want you to go off and do something right now. So if you're still catching up on the story task, take a screenshot of this, stick it in your stories, and I want you to tell me which one of these things are you going to go and do now? And I mean literally now. As soon as this finishes, Q&A is done, I want you to go off and I want you to do something straight away. I want you to show me you're going to be accountable. I'm going to hold you accountable. Are you going to? Check your bio. We talked about keeping it short and sweet. It is not a CV. Review your pinned post. Do you have the most important things there that you need people to know about? Show up in stories. It literally takes less than 5 minutes to create an Instagram story. You have no excuse for not sharing something today to celebrate #10 events. And send a local pitch. It's going to take 10 minutes to write an email and find an email address for either your local BBC or your local newspaper. Every business has something to celebrate. And if you're struggling to find something amazing about your business, then you definitely need to drop me a message for me to be able to share with you some of the easy ways that you can tap into the amazingness that is your business. And of course, don't forget to follow me at Estelle Keeber Official. It takes a second to hit that follow button. And of course, you're going to get lots more value and resources from me all over my socials. And the best bit is to show you how important it is for me to see you guys taking action. For anybody that shares a story and tags me using the mention option, I am going to give you access to all of my best trainings on social media marketing and PR as a way to say thank you for getting involved today. Now, there's been lots of things that we've talked about as we've kind of flew through this training. I could talk for hours on Instagram marketing and media and PR. So if there is anything that we have touched upon in today's session, whether this is hashtags, stories, using AI, you want to go a little bit deeper, check me out on socials. There is a whole training platform where you can find out and go really, deep dive into all of the things that we've been talking about today. And like I mentioned, anybody that tags me in a story at Estelle Keeber Official will go in a draw to win access to all of the trainings that we've been talking about today that are available inside my training platform. So how to make your socials press media and marketing friendly, how to maximize your visibility. It goes on and on and on, but it's an amazing platform, and you guys are up with a chance of winning if you simply share something to your Instagram stories and tag me at Estelle Keeber Official. So I did say that there would be plenty of time for you guys to ask your questions. So now is your opportunity. And like I said, don't forget to make sure you are following me over on socials. You can find me on Facebook at Estelle Keeber and over on Instagram at Estelle Keeber Official. And for those of you that are using LinkedIn, I am trying my best to be active over there. You can go and find me over on LinkedIn as well. So make sure that you stay connected. And I am very excited to now take on any of your questions.